Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Tonight, UConn snaps a 21-game losing streak on the road against ranked teams, getting it done 74-67. As you see there, Alex Caravan led the way with 23 points. Now, again, you have to say, T.O., as you know, no Kolek tonight for Marquette, but how about this performance on the road by the UConn Huskies, who just continue to roll?
Well, I think it was impressive, especially at the beginning, because Marquette took off. They were ready to go on senior night. And Kolek not playing, obviously, is just so big. But I think the one thing that you can point to with this UConn team is their composure. Danny Hurley's found a system. And Donovan Klingen's as good as advertised, and Tristan Newton's even better. They are very much in the driver's seat to repeat as national champions because, one, the way they play is very conducive to the NCAA tournament because they're so big, they're so physical, and they have a big point guard in Tristan Newton that's just going to be able to settle them down and be the best player on the floor, the best collegiate player on the floor in 95% of the games that they play. So this UConn team, as good as they are, they also got some extra help today from my man Alex Caravan, who's finally hitting shots. If he's hitting shots and spacing the floor, my God, how do you guard him? I don't know. That's that's your conundrum if you're any Big East team or any other team in the country that gets matched up against UConn in the NCAA tournament.
John, what do you think?
The Hurley Express continues to roll, man. I mean, he's they're playing well. Obviously, they didn't have their All-American Big East Player of the Year, so this game was more of a, they looked focused. They looked like they were in tune. I just like the way they play. They move the ball seamlessly, selflessly. Tristan Newton, Klingen, Caravan, Cam Spence. I mean, they look primed for a run, a deep run. So today was just another step towards getting to where they need to be in March. And, obviously we can't say enough about how they've been playing. Unfortunately, Marquette didn't have their star player, but UConn is UConn, man, and they look really good.
Does John have like the ghost from The Ring in his house? You see? Does anybody else see that? I'm just a little nervous. I'm a little nervous about the. I see like some static, man. Just make sure everything is cool over there. Yeah,
just right. These 4K cameras, man. I don't know, like. These 4K cameras, like they sound. I don't know what's going on here. Well, maybe in a break I'll figure it out. But hopefully,
just keep an ear in the event you like hear some weird stuff in the kitchen, bro. I'm looking out for man. All right, I've seen those movies before. To from the Marquette perspective, you mentioned it. They were ready to come. They were ready to go, and it's so hard when you don't have your engine, which is Kolek, who drives everything. But they did get Oso back tonight, and obviously Cam Jones did pitch in with 18. Just how do you assess this Marquette team? I mean, I assume they believe they will get Kolek back. I mean, it seems a little hard to assess them without knowing when and how effective he's going to be.
1 assist in the first half. Did Marquette have? 1 assist. That says almost everything you need to know. And I'm not saying he would have given 6 or 7 in that first half, but what Kolek does when they're running that 5 out with Oso at the top, it's not just him passing the ball. It's him going to set those down screens, curling off those down screens, setting the screens for the guy he's curling off of. He just has such a good awareness, not only with the ball, but without it. And as a result, guys are able to get open shots just by his presence being on the floor. And he's the rare guy who's averaging over 7 assists that probably has just as many screening assists because he just knows where guys are all the time and how to create open lanes for his teammates. Look, Cam Jones, really good player. He was good tonight. 18 points on 7 of 15 shooting. Oso Ighodaro, he ran into a buzzsaw a little bit trying to attack anything inside of 8 feet because Donovan Klingen's a man down there. He did have some good spots, sure, but Kolek's the guy who makes this go. With or without the ball, they go from a team that can win 1 game in the tournament or 2 maybe to if Kolek's back, they can make a Final Four. He's that big of an impact guy. And look, Trey Norman came in. He was good today. Ben Gold, I'm a massive fan of. I think you're going to be able to see his best basketball after Ighodaro's gone. but Kolek just impacts their offense so much, not just with the assist, but with his general movement and his willingness to not be the guy who has to chase the ball, if that makes sense. And I know John knows what I'm talking about there.
Yeah. We had Kendall Marshall. We were number 1 overall seed. He gets injured. We get to the Elite Eight, but we could not do anything with Kansas. Tyshawn Taylor ripped us apart, especially at the end when we needed, points and we needed good possessions. And that's kind of what Marquette's going to do if Kolek can come back. He is the engine, more so than Kendall was for our team, that runs Marquette. Like T.O. said, 1 assist in the first half. That doesn't sound like Marquette basketball. Iguodaro had to be a lot more aggressive. I'm sure that was a game plan. Look, we need you to be aggressive against Kling and try to get him in foul trouble. But going through him, over him, is probably not the best thing to do. Especially
and since he can't shoot, John, since he can't shoot too, Klingon can just sit back there. And that don't give me the single cam. I'm talking back and forth to John. Since he can't go, since he can't shoot the basketball, Klingon can sit back, and because he can sit back like that, that takes away a lot of those passing angles too to some of these backdoor cutters, right? Like that 5-out offense. If you have a 5 guy that can't really shoot it, it's really, really hard to run, especially when you have a monster playing defense at the 5.
And I get the strategy of going at a shot blocker. That's how you attack him, but didn't work tonight. He doesn't have the size and the length to really affect Klingon. Klingon had 4 blocks, but I mean, he probably affected the game way more than those 4 blocks, 12 rebounds. He had a problem. And so if Marquette gets Kolek back, they'll be fine. If not, they're in trouble. I just wonder what the committee does if he doesn't play before the tournament. What do they do with their seeding? How do they seed him? Do they keep the same seeding per se? So that'll be interesting too, because you go down a couple seeds and you're going to mess around and have Kentucky or somebody the second game, somebody that's, maybe a Tennessee, you're not a Tennessee, but, a higher seed. So you don't want that.
John, I want to ask you, because you came in the year after UNC, won it all. And I'm not trying to blame you for what happened that year, bro. I'm not trying to put that on you, but it speaks to how difficult it is right after you win the title to maintain that level. Now, again, I think you guys had a lot more names and faces changed than UConn has, but I mean, UConn lost quite a bit with Sanogo and Hawkins. Like how impressive is it knowing that they lost the production they lost, and they're even better from a regular season standpoint?
John, we lost just Tyler Hansborough, Ty Lawson, Wayne Ellington, Danny Green. We lost.
That's it.
That's
it, man. Just a few. That's all.
But I mean, we knew that, Sanogo leaving, Klingon was going to step in, Newton was staying. I think the biggest get for them was Cam Spencer. That changed the game. Whereas, when I did the Miami game and I talked to Coach Larinaga, he was like, we missed out on Cormac Ryan and Cam Spencer, and we really needed that in our starting lineup. And so if UConn doesn't have Spencer, then all of a sudden Diarra is a little more on his shoulders. Castle can't really warm up and get to where he needs to be as a freshman and kind of take his time. They're going to need more out of him. So it was the perfect storm for that team. And shout out to Coach Hurley for bringing him in. I think that was the most impactful transfer in the country, potentially, especially being a team that just won it. Like, the rich got richer at this point.
I caught hell for saying this, John, but I think Cam Spencer is a better collegiate player this year, just this year, than Jordan Hawkins was last year for this UConn team. And the reason being, it's the added playmaking with the ball. It's the toughness plays. Jordan Hawkins is going to play a lot longer in the NBA or at the professional ranks as long as he wants, because he shoots it so well. You can run offense for him. You can do all that. But in the college game, it's different. These big burly guards that might not be able to jump over a phone book, there's a lot of value in those tough guys right at the college level.
And go ahead. With Hawkins, it was kind of like feast or famine, right? Like, if he was on, we're jumping for joy. But some games we'd be like, he was like J.R. Smith, like he'll shoot you in, he'll shoot you out. Fortunately for them, during the tournament, he shot him in. So Cam is definitely a lot more solid, a a lot more dependable per se down the stretch as a playmaker, which it only helps because he can shoot it just as well as Hawkins.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.